So I'd like to welcome Tim Saunders. He's the owner of Omnia Radiation Balancer. And I've been using the product for almost 2 years now and have had excellent experience with it. It's these excellent stickers I used on the cell phone. And I'll get Tim to explain it a little bit more. I just thought I'd just tell everyone, went to Tim's website. I was seeing Dr. Michael Tellinger's work, I think Journey to Truth podcast, saw Tim review, and I thought this guy's great. And then watched some interviews of him with Dr. Lackey, and I thought really advanced science and explained a lot. And being a nutritionist and doing live cell microscopy all the time, Tim, I thought, oh my God, I had the aha moment looking at your website and saw the shape of the red blood cell, which I look at every day. And then it's like, dong, there it is. It's like, oh my God, everything about compression, expansion, and energy. And it blew my mind. So I knew, okay, I'm onto the right thing. And of course, using the stickers on my cell phone, I thought I'm just going to give it those number of months, not reach out to you, just order it. And no placebo, no anything. I was like, oh my God, for sure. Much less ear burn. You could tell that your field, my energy field, I'm very energy sensitive. So I could just tell like, oh my God, okay, like I'm not talking on the phone like all the time, but when I do, I can only go for a certain amount of time. Otherwise I just don't feel great. And this thing had changed it. So I thought it'd be great to actually interview you just for a quick 5 minute or something. But it turned out that you and I got to chatting quite a bit. We've done a few just informal talks, and you've really blown my mind with awesome information. So I thought I just, get a quick one from you about like, how did you get into it? And, how are sales and are people open to this dodecahedron energy and what's been happening, I guess, in your world?
Sure. Well, a lot to unpack there, but
Sure.
absolutely. It's been great chatting with you, Bruce, because obviously you've got that knowledge of the blood, and one of the tests that we do is to show how blood gets kind of electrically imbalanced by microwave radiation fields from phones, laptops, Wi-Fi routers, and so on, and then how we bring that blood back to balance,
Right.
back to its kind of perfect shape, which is kind of like this, like a torus field of what we call light or electric current. So one of the main messages that we have for everyone is that everything in the body is electric. And that's because every atom is electric current or light spinning into a torus field of light, which we can actually see in our blood cells. Just to show you that again.
Yeah.
We do we do the live blood analysis, which is something you're an expert in, to show how the blood basically forms chains, rouleau chains, when it's exposed to Wi-Fi radiation for 10 to 20 minutes. And then obviously when we do our test and we put the sticker on the phone, which looks like, like you just showed, which looks like that has an energy imprint, which changes the vibrational state of the wireless radiation that comes into your phone, delivering the data. And once that happens, then the energy in the phone is now vibrating with the same rhythm and balance as all the electrical energy in your body. And so we have what we call resonance or harmony between the two electrical fields, the electrical field of the radiation and the electrical field of the body. So we want to bring those two into resonance and create that harmony. That's what we do at Omnia. And the reason I got into it was because I was at a festival which was run by a guy called Michael Tellinger, who you mentioned earlier on, and he had all these crazy guests from the world of science and farming and animal conservation and all sorts of other things. And this guy was talking about free energy. And halfway through, his name is Ilya Lakisevich, or Lackey for short. And halfway through, he said, oh, and by the way, I've got the solution to all the radiation problems in the world. And so I was like, wow, that's a big claim. That's a big shout. So I went up to him afterwards and I said, what have you got? And he said, oh, I've got these stickers. And I was just like, well, these are just stickers. What's in them? Is it magic or something? And that's when he took me on the journey to understand this thing called Deca energy, which we can talk about a bit later on. But just to finish off the story, I just thought to myself, okay, well, I know how to do muscle testing. I know how to do applied kinesiology. So only on an amateur level. But I thought, well, I'll take a load of his stickers and test all these people at the festival. So I got them to get their phone out, did the old test with them, Their body went weak. As soon as they held a phone, their body went weak.
Yeah.
And then I put the sticker on their phones and their body was like super strong. And I thought, well, we've got something here. I now need to know what this is and how it works. And that's when I got into the whole kind of, right, okay, there's this new type of energy which could be here to help us on many, many levels, but specifically around radiation and man-made electrical fields, it's very important to distinguish between kind of natural radiation fields like the sun, because the sun is life-giving. Nothing would be alive without the sun, including us. We'd have nothing to eat. But man-made electrical fields or radiation fields are actually different in the way that they vibrate. They vibrate with a kind of life-destructive tendency. And that's what we want to correct. We want to change that life-destructive into a life-giving tendency or vibration within the electric field.
And that's why I thought it's great to have you on, because in discussions with clients on a daily basis, people come to me and many people are very knowledgeable. They're eating clean, they're exercising and drinking water and so forth. And when you bring up the discussion of man-made EMFs, electromagnetic fields and distortions, and potentially they could cause some issues, it's actually a new topic for many people and they're pleasantly open to it. It's just, it's something that I looked at over the last 20 years and thought that has to be an effect on us. And clearly with more and more research coming out, people are constantly tired and having health conditions, and that can be a big part of it. Would you agree?
Well, 100%, because the body is this big electrical energy field. Every cell in your body is electric current in motion. So if you touch another electric field, then it has to be in the same rhythm and balance as your body. Otherwise, your body gets worn out. It literally, the electrical charge in your body starts to reduce and become under stress. And then that over time will lead to complications. And with EMF, it has to be stressed, excuse the pun, that, it's not like you pick with EMF, it's not like you pick something up and you immediately go, oh, electric shock. Oh, it's not like that at all. It's basically attritional and it happens over time. But basically through the muscle test, which I just explained, you can show that the body reacts in real time to you just holding a phone. It's put under this electrical stress. So what we have to do is change the vibration of the electrical energy coming in through the phone to make it compatible with the body. And this is all brand new for people because they probably don't even think of their bodies in terms of an electrical energy field. Most people are pretty consumed by the idea that we are flesh, blood, bones, and maybe some water.
Yeah.
But I'm here to tell you that underneath the flesh, the blood, the bones is electric current in motion. Everything starts as an electric light ring or spinning ring of light,
right.
And light is the same thing as electric current. So once we make that step into understanding ourselves as light beings, sorry to get all spiritual and everything else,
exactly.
It's kind of factual, then we understand that we have to, if we're exposed to imbalanced light, then we become imbalanced ourselves, because as we are cell towers effectively too, we are towers of cells, and those cells are all, like I've said before, electric current in motion. So we are electrically responding to everything that we encounter, whether it be the sunshine or whether it be good music, when your hairs stand up on your arms or so on, having a hug, walking barefoot in nature, that's, positive, grounding energy that comes into your body. These are all positive reactions in the body, but we also react to things that are out of sync with us. And we pick up that imbalance. So you've got to understand that as electrical beings, if there's something that's imbalanced that is in our environment, we will pick it up. Especially if it's in the same frequency band as us. So, people have measured the electric currents in the brain, for example, alpha, beta, gamma, brain waves all have a different frequency. Frequency denotes electric current in motion. So all of the frequencies in our body, which is this kind of divine orchestra of lots of different instruments, whether it be the kidneys, the stomach, the liver, etc., all playing at different frequencies, but brought into alignment in this beautiful orchestra that's the human body. When we as electrical beings walk into other electrical fields, if they're in the same balance as us, it's fine. But if they're not, we have to do something about that, because over time, this electrical being is going to get worn out by being exposed to those imbalanced vibrations.
And even the verbiage that many of us use when you're tired, oh, my battery feels drained, etc., is it's true, right? And that's the point. Now you'll find
speaking your truth.
The truth. And just feeling depleted, exhausted. I mean, those are all, electrical and battery vernacular terminology, and discharged and so forth. And so that's why I'm really excited that we got this interview, and we'll probably do, a few more of it coming down the coming months. And I'm grateful that for my clients and listeners that you've extended a discount code so that people can log into your website, use the discount code, and get a bit of savings. And using the Omnia, whether it's the stickers on the phone, that seems to be the most popular. But I know you also have newer pendants as well. Is that something that? And what kind of feedback you're getting on both the stickers and the pendants worldwide? Now that you've been into the business for a couple of years, 2-3 years now at least, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the pendants, just to be clear about the distinction in the products, the pendants are designed to meet the body's energy and set it back to balance and centeredness once the body, encounters these imbalanced radiation fields. So that's basically working on the body. And the stickers are designed to work on the devices. So they go on the device and change the source of that energy. Now, if you have a phone on you all the time, then you'll have a radius of balanced energy around you caused by just that sticker. But if you don't have your phone on you all the time, it's a good idea to wear the pendant. And a lot of people just like to wear the pendant anyway, just because it just becomes kind of part of their overall protection. But no, I just went on a retreat, and everyone at the retreat was asking about the pendants, and they really liked them and gravitated towards them. And we did a load of muscle testing with them on, and I sold quite a few of them. So it really is just about your own personal protection, plan, if you like. But we've got stickers that you put on every device, whether it be a laptop, a Wi-Fi router, phone. They've all got to be patched. We always advise that you just patch your devices first. And then on top of that, we would say that the pendants are there for added protection for things like when you get on a plane or something, or when you're on a bus and you're exposed to everyone else's electromagnetic fields and so on. So, and then, of course, we've got these tiny little stickers, which are called the micros, which look like this. And they go specifically on earphones or smartwatches, so-called smartwatches.
Right.
And they're much smaller, so they fit into smaller spaces. So with those three, depending on how many devices you've got and what you use on a daily basis, you'd be pretty much covered.
Yeah, perfect. That's a great explanation. Yeah, and then with the advent of the earbuds and everyone and the ease of use and so forth, I don't think people appreciate that with a direct exposure, even right through the ear into the brain, the resonant canal that's the ear to the brain. And so I think that's awesome that you come up with a great solution. And it doesn't, and people will like these the ear stickers because then they're not giving up their devices yet. They're getting harmony, and it's something that I think people are more open to receiving new information and being aware if they can use stuff and it's not a yes, no only decision, right?
Absolutely. And, one thing I would say about earphones, wireless earbuds in particular, is that when you hold your radio frequency meter next to them, it goes berserk. For some reason, even though they're Bluetooth and whatever, for some reason, they carry a very high level of radio frequency, even more so than the phone sometimes. So if you imagine that energy is going directly into contact with your electrical brainwaves, alpha, beta, gamma, or whatever, then you're causing disturbance. You're causing imbalance within your brainwaves. I mean, that's got to be taken seriously by everyone. And for those who want to see all of the kind of biological science, there's plenty of that. If you go on to websites like ehtrust.org, you can find out all of the papers where they've tested rats for exposure, and they found all sorts of things, from cancers to DNA strand breaks to infertility to all sorts of things. And the reason is because what we just talked about, which is that it's vibrational. It's not about the heat that's caused by the phone. It's about the way that the wave field vibrates. And that's important for everyone to make that breakthrough, in my view, because then they can help themselves.
Yeah, it's not just the thermal effect, which, many people are like, oh my God, it's safe for this many hours because we've tested it. It's like, yeah, but you only tested like this much, which is the thermal effect. What about all the other stuff? And there's things we probably don't even know yet, right?
Well, I would say about the testing of cell phones is you're absolutely right. The only safety test they do in the industry is on a plastic dummy of a human being filled with fake blood. And they put the phone next to the fake skin, the plastic skin, and then they measure if any heat went into the fake blood, right? And there's one thing missing from that test, which is an animal, right? Or a human being. And you test live blood. I've tested live blood. I've tested, muscle testing. I've tested water. I've tested the heart. And all of these things get disrupted by electromagnetic fields. So you've got the industry doing a test on a plastic dummy, and you've got people like me doing tests on real live human beings. Now, which one are you going to listen to is the question, because we've got information that is very important for everyone to understand. It's never going to make its way into the mainstream. Not unless we have this giant, reversal of consciousness, and suddenly our mainstream starts to tell the truth. So we're in a situation where this knowledge has to be shared for the benefit of everyone.
Absolutely, and that's why it's great that minimally we've got technologies like Omnia Radiation Balancer, and great scientists out there that are coming out with solutions. And I'm so happy that we are using your product. And just let's give me the website again, just for our listeners.
Yeah, it's just Omnia, OMNIA, radiationbalancer.com.
Perfect.
So it's a bit of a long-winded one, but it describes everything that we do. We balance the radiation, and then that brings electrical balance back to the body. And we show that in all of our tests on the body to show that there's great benefit to using our products. You've also, felt that benefit yourself, as you said before, without even, before we'd even spoken. And that's great. That's the greatest endorsement we can have, when energy sensitive people like yourself really pick up the difference in the energy on the phone. And we've had that feedback from many different energy intuitives that say, oh my God, as soon as I put this on, the energy changed in the phone. I could see it, I could feel it. Suddenly it was like compliant with my body. And that's what we want. And not everyone's going to pick that up, because everyone's on a different level of energy intuition. But that it's great when I hear feedback like yours, because it endorses what I'm doing and makes me feel good about that people are noticing it.
That's awesome. And I'd encourage everyone to go to the website, and you have excellent articles, things that I've read through, and that's what really drew me to using the product. Just looking at all the awesome stuff you have, and you're not just saying, oh, this is great, and that's it. You really back it up. And I encourage everyone to go to the website. And I look forward to speaking with you soon, Tim. And
thanks very much, Bruce. Yeah, great to chat to you.